What is going on, everybody? Thanks so much for checking out the Queer Impact Collective. I'm so pumped that you're interested and wanted to take a couple minutes to just give you a little bit more information about what the Queer Impact Collective is, who I am, and why you're not going to want to miss any opportunity to be a part of this awesome community of queer identifying entrepreneurs, creatives, and changemakers, of which I can only assume you are most likely one. So let's start with a little bit about who I am, because if you come to anything related to the Queer Impact Collective, you're going to be spending some time with me. So it's important that we're vibing and you feel like you're going to have fun and be in a safe and welcoming space, which is always the number one goal. So my name is Megs Pulvermacher. My pronouns are she, her. I am the creator of the Queer Impact Collective. I host a podcast called Out What Now? That's all about navigating the ups and downs of the coming out journey while having as much fun as possible. And I also work as a school psychologist, which is my kind of original career path of training and practice, which I've been doing for 10 years, which is pretty awesome and super helpful working out in the business realm and podcasting and doing all of the stuff that I do. It all meshes together really nicely. I'm also known for, as I mentioned in my description of my podcast, having as much fun as possible. If something isn't fun or we can't keep things light, it doesn't mean we can't talk about serious stuff, but I always bring the fun to everything I do. And I find that it really helps to create safe spaces where people feel like they can be themselves. And that's always what I'm trying to do. I also am known for my love of craft beer, particularly IPAs. I love doing beer tastings and hanging out with friends at breweries and checking out new places. And also the number one way that I like to nerd out is talking about football. I love the Green Bay Packers. And so those are kind of the three big things that rise to the top when people think of Megs. In addition to my love for creating spaces where people can connect, where relationships can be built, and where folks can be in community with each other in a safe way. I've been building my business over the past 2 years. I've started 2 different podcasts that are largely based on mindset and community building and getting around other like-minded people, because that's been so game-changing for me, both in a business sense as an entrepreneur and also as a human, a queer human existing in the world. Community has been game-changing for me, which is how the Queer Impact Collective actually came to be. I shifted or pivoted, I suppose, during COVID, like I think a lot of folks did, to serving the queer community more specifically through my podcast. And I kind of dabbled in some coaching, but really find that creating spaces, holding events, and facilitating connections and relationships is really my wheelhouse. And something that I noticed when I pivoted to really trying to serve the queer community is that there were a lot of us out here, a lot of queer folks trying to make an impact in their coaching business or in copywriting or in fitness or in graphic design or whatever it is, in education even. I have a lot of folks I work with who are part of the community as well. And we were all trying to create an impact, but doing it on our own little islands. And so I got this idea that I wanted to create a space where queer folks could come together to kind of not just be in community, but be in a safe space where you can talk about the things that are hard about the queer entrepreneurial experience and all of the mindset pieces that go into being able to show up online just as a queer human, much less to be out in your business and solving some of those granular business things like sales pages and launches and stuff like that, but also navigating things like family and working through gender fluidity and what that means and looks like in your relationships and in the way that you exist as a human. So there are a lot of different reasons that folks come to the collective. We host a couple of virtual meetups per week and also have an online community platform where folks can get connected to talk about things that are everything from personal to getting feedback on different web pages or wording around a launch and copy. And what do you think of this graphic? And I need someone to leave me a rating and review for a podcast, or all different kinds of things that you can get out of being in this community. But I think probably the number one thing that people appreciate is just being in a space where you don't have to explain your queerness, you don't have to validate your queerness, you don't have to do anything except show up fully as yourself. And whatever that means today, there are a lot of people who access every single meetup. We hold a guaranteed minimum of 4 per month that are offered, but usually it's more around 6 to 8. And some people come to every single meetup. Some people kind of bop in here and there, but the community is always there. We always hold space. And the overarching goal is to really support one another so that we can really amplify and center more queer voices and empower queer missions, because we're all out here trying to create an impact. And we can't do that if we're all on our own little islands or we're competing with one another. This is all about community and collaboration and supporting one another so that we can create the impact in the world that we're all here to make. So that is a quick overview of who I am and what the collective is and what you can expect if you decide to come check it out. You can sure do that. If you use the code FIRSTFREE, you can come hang out in a meetup for free before you commit. Otherwise, you can go ahead and join the collective, become a member. You'll get access to all of the meetups that are offered on any given month and access to the online community platform that we host in Circle, so you can stay connected to folks and get support that way. So if you have any questions, you can DM me on Instagram at Megs the Connector, or hit me up in the Connect tab on my website, queerimpactcollective.com. And that is all I have for you right now. We'll be in touch. And until next time, keep it queer out there.